Hello all, once again welcome back to my channel Impart and Imbibe, and today I will deviate from accountancy and I will talk about marketing. So let's see what's stored for you today. So we will talk about how relevant is the cognitive dissonance in different types of consumer goods for marketers. So question is clear to you. Now there are two things in this question and two words which may sound alien to you. First one is cognitive dissonance and the second one is consumer goods. So let's first talk about consumer goods. What are consumer goods? So on the basis of uh, consumption, goods can be classified into two types, producer goods and consumer goods. So producer goods are those goods which are used for manufacturing of other goods, and it is not used for final consumption. And consumer goods are those goods which are finally used by consumer, and it is not required in making of other goods. It is only meant for consumption. So these are the basic difference between producer goods and consumer goods. In this topic, we will be talking about consumer goods. And second word is cognitive dissonance. So what is cognitive dissonance? I will give you an example and you will understand this. Suppose someone, say your grandparent or your parent, they like sweets too much. Okay, they are fond of sweets, and unfortunately they are also patient of diabetes. Now you generally, they don't hesitate in taking sweets, though they shouldn't take it, and this they also know. So suppose they go to a birthday party and they have been offered a piece of cake, and you are not there to tell him to have or not to have. Okay, now by looking at that piece of cake, your parent or grandparent, whoever the person is, might think that should I take or should I not take? I should take because I like it. Okay, I will do exercise after it. I will eat my medicine. I have already taken my medicine. My last report was normal. I can take it. At the same time, you may think that no, but it may lead to increase in problem. I shouldn't take it. So this conflicting thoughts run in his mind. So this thought is nothing but the cognitive dissonance. And in this topic, I will be talking about cognitive dissonance post purchase. Okay. So once the consumer goods are purchased, there may be some conflicting thoughts after purchase decision has been made. So this topic will talk about how relevant is the cognitive dissonance. Okay, it will rise in the minds of consumer, and how relevant it is for the marketers. Okay, so once you buy a consumer goods, say you are a consumer and you buy a consumer goods, and there is a state of conflict in your mind, which is also named as cognitive dissonance, and how that conflict is relevant for the marketers for decision making is what I am going to discuss. I hope this is clear. Now let's move ahead. Before moving on further, let me talk about different types of consumer goods. So it is also very important. There are 4 types of consumer goods. By looking at the picture itself, you may understand the salient features of the 4 types. Say, in convenience goods, you can see an example of Surf Excel packet. Okay. In shopping, you can see an example of a watch. In specialty, you can see an example of DSLR camera. And in unsought, you can see an example of insurance. So these are the 4 categories. So when you go to buy a surf, do you actually pay too much of attention which surf to buy, whether to buy this one or that one, and how much amount I'm going to pay for it? No, you just, sometimes you don't even go to a shop, you just take your phone and you order over phone and you get the delivery. So it is convenience because it is conveniently available to you. Now suppose, talking about shopping goods, you have to buy a watch. You will not directly order. You may order. Even if you order, you will look for 2-3 alternatives or 2-3 websites. Suppose if you, even if you are purchasing it online, so you will look for buying a watch on Amazon, Flipkart, or Myntra, anywhere. So because you will devote some time to buy a watch, because there's a considerable amount of money which you are going to invest it in. So definitely, as when you compare it with convenience good, you tend to spend little more time than convenience good in buying a shopping goods. Clear? Now, coming to specialty goods. An example which I have taken is a DSLR camera. You can take any other example. Say, suppose when you go to buy a diamond or say a wedding dress, you will not simply look at 2-3 website or visit 2-3 shops and in a day you will be able to buy it. No, it is not possible. You will, since it is a memory of a lifetime, and you have to spend quite a lot amount of money in it, and there are limited options which will satisfy your need. So you need to put in considerable amount of time in buying certain goods, and those category of goods fall into specialty goods. So this is specialty goods. And what is unsought? Sought means which you seek for. Unsought means you do not seek for it. You don't actually know that you should need it. It is, you may need it, and it is marketer's job who will make you realize that you actually need this product. So talking about LIC, you simply don't think of buying LIC or insurance. No, but it is marketer's job, and it is marketer's emphasis which makes you buy this kind of consumer goods. Now, coming to purchase decision, I have already discussed while I was talking about types of consumer goods. So what is the time you spent in buying convenience good, for how much money you invest in buying convenience shopping, specialty or unsought goods, what are the alternatives available, different brands available, and thought involved, how much you think before buying this different category of goods. So let's talk about convenience. Time least. I told you, just take your phone and you order. Money per unit least. Okay. Alternatives are unlimited, and thought involved is least thinking. You don't think. It is a regular buying behavior or habitual buying behavior. You are buying certain things, you will keep on buying month on month. So you don't think too much before making that purchase. Now talking about shopping. Time, not more, but more than convenience. So less. Money per unit, less. Alternatives, there are several alternatives available, and there's little thinking involved with the shopping goods. It is not that you simply go and buy. Okay. And specialty, time very much, money per unit most, and alternatives very limited. Okay. And you will think twice, thrice before making that purchase. You will discuss with different decision makers at your home, or you will think on your own whether to buy this or whether not to spend money on buying that product. Do I really need it? What it will add to me? So such things you will carefully analyze, and then you will make that decision. So it is specialty goods. Now talking about unsought, time is much because you actually don't know what you have to buy. So it is something which is vague. You don't know. Money per unit more, alternatives a few, and thought is instilled. Thought is instilled means marketers instill thought in you that you need that product and you need to buy that product. So these are the different types of consumer goods, and these are the decision making elements when you make purchase decision. Clear? Now what will be the post purchase consequences? Okay, when you receive certain product, there was something which was promised to you, and there was something which you have perceived about the product. So what is promised to you is product performance, and what is perceived by you is customers' expectation. So there will be three different scenarios. when product performance equals to customer expectation, okay, you need a shampoo, okay, and you want something which will help your hair to become thicker, shinier, and product is offering the same thing to you. So product performance, when you buy that product and you use it and what you have expected, both are equal, you are satisfied. So result is satisfaction. Again, product performance greater than customers expectation, something you might not even expect also, and product is giving it to you. Okay, so it is also one of the strategies with marketer use, that they they will not tell you the entire feature of the product, and there's something which is kept secret, and once you will start using the product, you will get to know and you will start falling in love with that product. So product performance becomes greater than what you have expected from the product to deliver it to you. So it is a delight. It's a normal situation. Okay. Now, again, product performance is less than customer's expectation. Okay. Now you receive a product and you had certain preconceived notion about the product, and you see whatever you thought, that product was unable to deliver it to you. So then comes into picture dissonance. Okay, and that is what we are going to discuss today. Dissonance means dissatisfaction or conflicting thoughts which have aroused in your mind. So this is product performance less than customers expectation. Now, how does this happen? Post-purchase cognitive dissonance. So now there will be conflicting thought. You thought something about the product, what you got was something different. Okay, take for an example a Vanish liquid. Okay, you thought the product, before offering it to you, you saw that advertisement that it removes stain. Okay, you thought, okay, let me try it. You buy that product and you try to use it, and you see that the stain is not removed properly. So there is a conflicting thought which will come up in your mind. What is that? No, the product is not up to the mark. So your attitude towards the product will change. You think such kind of product cannot be made and it is not possible. Your behavior may change. Okay, you may think, well, why the hell you spent your money on buying that product which was unable to fulfill your promise. Okay, you will try for, you may return the product if there is a return policy. You may never repeat your purchase because that product did not meet your expectation. You may also give a negative word of mouth to your friends, to your relatives, to your acquaintances. You will tell this kind of product, this brand is not at all good. Please never go for such product. So there will be a negative word of mouth, and it is very important for marketers to address it, because it have a huge impact on customers, and there will be a question mark on brand loyalty if there was any. So there will be a question mark. Now, marketer's role will come into play. As you have a conflicting thought, marketer's role will come into play. Marketers has a very important role. Now, marketers can ignore or can consider. Marketers generally tend to ignore for convenience good, and also not for all convenience good marketers can ignore, because there are multiple brands also available for convenience good. So anyhow marketers need to consider, because once the marketer lost their customer, he will lose many more customer and also many more repeat purchases. So he need to consider for shopping, specialty and sort, and also for some convenience good if there is post-purchase cognitive dissonance. Now, chances of post-purchase cognitive dissonance, as we have discussed, in convenience good there's the least chances, because you have not given much time to it. You just thought, okay, or you are in a habit of buying certain category of goods and certain brands which you will keep on buying until and unless there is another thought which is instilled by the marketers to you. So there's a least that there will be a post-purchase cognitive dissonance in the minds of customers. For shopping, there's a high chance. Okay, you go to a shop to buy a dress for you. Okay, and they tell you that this is this dress will, the fabric in the fabric or the material is very good, and you can wash it without thinking. But when you washed it for the very first time, you saw that fabric got shrinked. So there is a cognitive dissonance which creeps in. So there's a high chances that there will be a cognitive dissonance in a shopping goods. Specialty, very high chance, because you are spending more money, you are spending more time, you are putting in your thoughts, you are discussing it with your parents, you are discussing with your acquaintances, and you are thinking twice, thrice, four times before making that purchase. So if the product fails to fulfill your expectation, there is a high chance that there will be post-purchase cognitive dissonance. And in unsought also, there's moderately high, because such kind of goods you don't look for. So there's already a double thought in your mind, or you are in a situation where you don't know whether you actually need that product or not. So there's a chance of cognitive dissonance. So moderately high. Now, degree of consideration by the marketers in specialty. So these two slides are related. You saw in convenience, chances is least. So in convenience, degree of consideration by marketers is negligible. Though in certain category of convenience goods, marketer needs to consider if they want to survive in the business or they want to grow in the business. They need to consider it. But still, if you think related with post-purchase cognitive dissonance, since the convenience goods will have least chances, so there is a negligible degree of consideration. Unsought, moderate, shopping, high, and specialty, highest. So here marketer will be very much involved with the customers. Here also very much. Here also moderately, the marketers will be involved after the purchase decision has been made. And in convenience, marketers cannot put in much time to think, because the amount involved, the amount per unit is less. So, and also the chances is less. So here it will be negligible degree of consideration. So this degree of consideration is how much effort marketers put to reduce the cognitive dissonance which may creep in the minds of consumers. Now, reducing post-purchase dissonance. How can marketers reduce post-purchase dissonance? First and foremost, product review. So when customers, before making the purchase, see the review, you talk about automobiles, you talk about mobile phones. Generally, customers are in the habit of reading or viewing product review and then make the purchases. In that case, automatically, the post-purchase dissonance will be reduced. Post-purchase activities to be constantly in touch with the buyers. So even if the purchase is made and customers are one-time buyers, to make sure that they are repeat buyers and there is no cognitive dissonance in the buyers and there is no spread of negative word of mouth, marketers needs to indulge with customers even after the purchase has been made. You can call a customer that whether you have liked my service or not. This thing can happen mostly in a service, when you buy a service. So post-purchase activities. So you can call a customer and ask whether you like the product or not. You further want to buy our product or not. How satisfied are you? You have any problem with the product, you can share with me. Or you can also attach a return policy. So customers will be happy that if they don't like the product, they can return also. So post-purchase activities will help to reduce purchase dissonance. Okay, new usage of existing product. Same product can be used for 2-3 purposes. So marketer needs to communicate it to the customers that you can use this product not only for this, for the other purpose as well. So it will also help to reduce post purchase dissonance. After sales service, when you talk about automobiles, so if you see that in Maruti they have various service station to provide after sales service, it will definitely impact the sales of Maruti. Why? Because they know that if they have any problem with the purchase, or if there is any problem with the uh, engine or anything with the car, with the automobile, the consumer can visit those service station and get it rectified. So after sales service becomes very important. And for foremost thing, deliver what promise. Never under deliver. You can always over deliver, and you should always deliver what you have promised. Okay, never over promise and under deliver. It will ultimately lead to post purchase dissonance. And testimonials. What are testimonials? So product review and testimonials may sound similar, but testimonials are generally a long customer review, where customers are where companies are uh, asking the happy customer to share their review in a detailed manner, and so that the new customer can find it relevant to them, and they tend to be more attached to the customer rather than the marketers. So marketers ask the happy customers to share their experiences. So review, what is the difference between review and experience? Is the same difference between product and testimonials. Here experience is shared after using the product, how things have changed in a detailed manner. So this will also help to reduce post purchase dissonance. So this is all about today, and I hope you liked my video and you have understood the concept, how post purchase cognitive dissonance is important for marketers, and marketers cannot ignore it if they want to grow and sustain in the market. So it is one of the very interesting concepts in marketing, and I hope that I was able to deliver it to you in the best possible way. Thank you, and stay tuned for more videos. Have a nice day.